Why can't we live together? Tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
Hello, all you melanated beauties, sun-kissed by God's lips. This is Coy with your black tea sip. I'm sipping power to pour you the truth. Go grab your cup. Let's fill it
up. And welcome to Black Tea Sip with your favorite host in the world, Coy. So this is where we sip power to pour truth, and today will be no different. We're going to go ahead and grab your cup. I'm going to fill it up. We're going to talk about some things that's going on in the world. Some things like love and sex and insecure. So many things that have gone on in the world of black life that we honestly, I don't know if we were really prepared for all the stuff that happened to us this week. I mean, you know, it was all kinds of stuff that was going on. But I want to start by dedicating this show to my big brother. And I know those of you that know me very well, outside of looking at me and saying, oh, my God, did she cut her hair? No, I didn't. I'm trying something new. I brought back the late 80s finger waves that were paying homage to the roaring 20s and then sometimes even the 40s. And so I'm trying a little something new. Do a little something. And thank you for the feedback because it's been really, really positive. You make a girl feel good. I want to dedicate this show to my brother. We call him Chucky. My brother, like many black men, had become a victim of the United States justice system. And today I got a chance to see my brother, and he's been getting an education in the United States, or Texas state, I should say, penal system for defending himself. So my brother was charged with manslaughter. They downgraded from murder because a man threatened to kill him and reached behind his back, and my brother grabbed his gun and shot him in self-defense, saving his life. So my family lived through that, and my brother is home, and so I want to dedicate this show to him and all the brothers that are out there that got a raw deal because they were just living while black. I also want to dedicate this show to our older brother. We call him Snake because y'all don't need government names. Y'all too nosy. We call him Snake, who has been literally holding my brother down for 19 years, never let anybody do anything for him. It was his baby brother, and he made sure he never wanted for anything. And so today, I am giving this show to my older brothers, whom I love dearly. All right. Lots happening in the world. Okay. Let's talk about Insecure. Y'all know her as Issa Dean on the show. HBO has been airing for 5 years, and this is the 5th season for Insecure. And with that being said, there is a lot that has happened. For me, I always pay attention to any time black life is appropriated. Anytime that black life is demonstrated in such a way that the person who's demonstrating it, whether it's art imitating life or if it is simply their version of events. Yeah, I mean, we got a show right now where many of us are watching BMF, which is Black Mafia Family, and we're looking at the version of events that 50 Cent is telling about Big Meech and his little brother. So we will allow, black folk, and I'm not saying folks, I'm saying folk, F-O-K-E. We will allow black folk to tell certain aspects of the story. Here you have, in BMF, you have Big Meech's son actually playing him in the Star show. So there's input. They've talked to people in the family. Big Meech, his dad, they're all awaiting sentencing, I understand, but and the brother, but there's input from them, right? There's this thing that is allowed to happen for them where they are able to basically, have input and share what they want to be known about that life and about that time. So that is allowed to happen. With Insecure, there has been all over Black Twitter. And, I always call it Black Twitter because, some people really think that there's a separate thing. And so, here we are watching the show, and I was actually glad for it to come on. It's the final season. When she inked her deal with HBO, Issa Rae said she only wanted to do 5 years. I guess she thought it would play out, in the 5-year time frame. Well, in the story, this is a spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it, so, mind your P's and Q's. This is a spoiler alert. In the story, she has 2 of the main characters, and they are both members, the characters are members of the first, the finest, the illustrious Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. One day I'll tell the story about why we hold that in, but, I feel like if I let the cat out the bag, y'all go run with it. And so the statements that I am going to make, these statements are the statements of Coy, creator and host of Black Tea Sip. I am not speaking as a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I am not speaking as someone who may have some inside knowledge for being a member. I am not speaking for the sorority's membership. I am not speaking regarding ideas or concepts that the AKA leadership may hold. And the statements that I am making, future forward, are not embodied in any way for members of Alpha Kappa Alpha. As I am speaking for them, I am speaking as an individual who created and hosts a show. So there's the disclaimer. So now let's get at it. I want to start here. When you have people that are creating shows or plays or anything that may air to the public in which they are getting paid for this story, they have to do things to clear with other companies or organizations, universities, for instance. And I'm saying that because I want people all over this Twitter, y'all know y'all was tweeting and twittering and carrying on. I want people to understand why people that may not even be members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but understood that there were trademark infringements occurring. So I want Twitter and the like to understand why this was happening, okay? Why people were so upset. Why members and non-members, affiliated and non-affiliated, were upset. And I want to clear the air. Absolutely no one ever was upset because Tiffany's character or Molly's character wore pink or green clothing, or had a pink green bow in their hair, or had a pink and green air filter thing on their car. Nobody cared about that. But let's be clear, because this is documented, so I'm not speaking as a member. The colors that Alpha Kappa Alpha members wear, when they are true to the colors and the trademark of the organization of salmon pink and apple green, those colors are trademarked. I want you to understand something. Those colors are trademarked. But that's not really the issue. No one had an issue about her wearing pink and or green at the same time. Nobody cared about that. Nobody cared that a character may be a member for the storyline, an AKA, or a Delta. You know, nobody cared about that. The issue here, and I want to be really clear about the issue. The issue is trademark infringement. Because what happened is the character of Tiffany, that's played by Amanda Seales, actually wore real paraphernalia, real Alpha Kappa Alpha gear that only members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated are allowed to wear. And I'm using the word allowed because you're only allowed to wear it as a member. You're not allowed to wear it if you're not a member. Okay, so we need to get understanding here about what's at stake. That's a trademark infringement when you do that. And so, again, when these stories are told and someone is benefiting, someone being an entity like HBO, someone being a person like Issa Rae, benefit, there is money exchanged. There is a profit made. And so she molds these characters in an image and then puts them out there and then gets paid from it. Nobody ever said a word. 5 seasons, nobody cared about the pink and green. Now I'm going to be honest. Perhaps something should have been done when she did have certain props in the background. But I'm assuming, because I am not speaking as a member of the organization, I'm not speaking as someone who has inside knowledge about the inner workings of the organization. I am saying, I think the thought process was, okay, it's a prop here, it's a prop there. Why get upset, right? Why actually, do something? It's okay. We'll allow this to occur for this purpose of her telling her story. Because the truth is, nobody wants to attack. Who got time, to go out here on the attack. So I think that it needs to be said that that's not the case. However, when you actually put on the garb and you have the shield, well, that's going a little too far. And so here's the thing. On Twitter, they talking about, black people can't have, and why you didn't say anything before. Well, you know what? We didn't have to. We didn't have to say anything before because, as an AKA, I was not mad because they did it. Okay, so I'm saying we as an individual, me and my sorority sisters that I've talked to about this, nobody was mad about that. The problem occurred when you utilize the actual garb, the shield, the top of the A, it's an actual sweater. That's a problem because now you have put someone, a non-member, and let's be clear, Amanda Seales, well, she kind of nasty acting about it. All right, I've got a caller in. I want to pause right here. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I want to talk about Howard University. And I want to get this caller in, so I'm going to pick back up with HBO. I'm going to take one quick break, and I'm going to come back with Hillary. She's a friend of this show. She's been on before, but she's a Howard alum. She's an adjunct professor, and I want to talk about Howard University and what's going on with the mold. Give me 1 second, and we're going to switch stations for a quick second, take a break, and I'll be right back to talk about Howard. This is Coy with the Black Tea Sip.
Now available, T.H. Moore's newest novel, titled I Am, follows a young African-American couple who are forced to pick up the pieces of their marriage after the violent loss of their young godson at the hands of a local white policeman. The loss sparks not only their community's anger, but also the rage of a vigilante who initiates a nationwide killing spree targeted at corrupt police officers. New York Times best-selling author Omar Tyree praises T.H. Moore's new novel as an audacious story and read. Dr. Christopher C. Irving, CEO of the Miller Institute for Leadership and Diversity in America, calls it a daring story. I Am by T.H. Moore, now available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and at thmoore.com.
Okay, let's get on right now.
Yeah, if you came to get some real music with a real vibe, then you came to the right spot. You know what it is. 99.9. This is DJ Candy Can. Here with Loose Cannons. Letting y'all know we about to do this like a fresh pair of...
All right, and we're back. So if you're just joining us, I was talking about Insecure, but I'm going to pause for the cause because I want to get Hillary Younger on. She is an alumni, and I want to get her take on it. So, Hillary, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, so I tried to stay away from this topic just out of respect. Not necessarily for Howard. I'm one of those people that wanted to go, and Mama said it was too far away from home. But that's a talk show for a different day. But out of respect for HBCU experience as a whole. But I can't now, and I told you that because people keep hitting me about it. So here's the deal for those that may not know. It's all over Black Twitter. You know, I always refer to it as Black Twitter because I don't know what white Twitter look like. Excuse me. So it's all over Black Twitter. And the students at Howard are saying that there is mold. Now, if you haven't seen the pictures, it's mold. Girls turn over stuff, it's mold all over. They say it's in the vents. They say that they're breathing it in. Some people are saying they're getting headaches, they're not feeling good. So Hillary and I had a conversation. I said, I don't know why these babies just gonna get them some bleach. Had a couple of people tell me, Court, bleach is not gonna do it. Howard is the Mecca. They've got millions of dollars in endowment. Trump gave them money. Why can't they fix these babies' dorms? So, Hillary, answer the question if you can.
Well, for all the people on the outside looking in, saying where the money came from and what Howard has and all these other things, and who know exactly what to do.
Know exactly what to do.
I will tell you to shut the entire hell up, because the reality of what's going on at Howard University is not a foreign concept for universities, one, in the Northeast, that are 150 plus years old. If you look up Harvard, if you look up NYU, which I spent 2 summers at NYU, and rats and roaches and everything else were in their dormitories, the biggest difference is that a school like Howard right now, so let me just say something. I'm headed to Howard right now for a meeting. I'm a little bit discombobulated, and I'm trying my best to, like you say, mind my P's and Q's and not say anything too bizarre. But what I will say is that Washington, D.C., let me start here and do my whole, have the rational conversation with you guys before I jump into some other stuff, because y'all know that it'll go all the way from champagne to malt liquor with me. But Howard University is in Washington, D.C., whatever subdivision you sitting in listening to this radio show in, if it's not in Washington, D.C., if it's not in San Francisco, if it's not in New York City, you probably have far more resources than you can imagine to where you getting mold fixed in your area would cost 50 cents. It's $500 in Washington, D.C. The university has been running on fumes. Yes, people donate to the university. Yes, we do have an endowment, which is something I feel like is foreign to a lot of HBCUs. And
that's true.
Really, when I say this, I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to anybody who has benefited, anybody who is a product of a historically Black college and university. If you wearing paraphernalia and you benefiting and you out hooping, hollering, and repping your set, and you not giving back, you are a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. My biggest come down is on alumni. I see Howard, just like you were talking about, AKA paraphernalia being splayed all over the media. It's not a movie, a TV show where I don't see somebody who pretending like they went to Howard, or maybe they actually did, with a sweatshirt, a T-shirt, or whatever on, lobbying for the university and proud to have that name across their chest. But the reality is, these schools cannot run on nothing, and they definitely cannot run if the alumni are not giving back and fostering for the next generation. All that money y'all see, it's probably already been spent. I live in D.C. It's not cheap to live here. So I can only imagine running and funding a university and how much that actually costs. So let's start there. Let's also talk about the age of the university. Logistically, it's old as hell. You went to college. You went to college. You went to an HBCU. You went to two HBCUs because you went to PV, right? You went to PV and when you were at school, I know for a fact them dormitories wasn't luxury high rises and shit.
Well, let me say this, Hillary. So let me say this. I have had a lot of people A couple of them that actually had an HBCU experience, but a lot of them PWIs, and they're talking about why am I not talking about Howard? And so, out of respect for HBCUs, now let me say this. I got 2 boys, you have a daughter. If it was my kids, I'd be madder than hell. I ain't gonna lie. I would be upset. I'd be like, no, wait a minute. But I know that they have a lot of immigrants there, and mamas in all different places in Africa, and they can't just catch a plane. And it is not easy to solve this problem because you can't snatch your child out the dorm and just throw them in an apartment. So I get that. Here is what I keep hearing, okay? That the alumni are not acknowledging that this is a situation. Because I was very vocal about Paul Quinn to the point where I lost a couple of friends. I don't know if you can really lose friends over something like that, so maybe they wasn't really my friend. Okay, maybe I've digressed. So I was very vocal about Paul Quinn because I treat Paul Quinn like a parent does a child. You chastise them, it doesn't mean you don't love them. But I pointed out the things that I thought were wrong. I don't like the fact that they heavily recruit from the border and that they're not recruiting people that look like me. But they have spent a lot of money. Because I kept saying, where's the money, where's the money, where's the money? Well, Mike Sherrill sold me something. He basically told me to shut up. Right. He built a whole new basketball team. They got a new facility for the student union. They working on the dorms. And so to your point, Hillary, for decades, I complained. The money had to appear. He had to do some things differently to get the money there. Now, I wasn't saying that I'm naive and that I think that it doesn't take money. But I think what you're saying is you don't know the inner workings of Howard, and it doesn't mean that they don't care. It means they need to correct it. Is that what I'm understanding you to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Then now, this is the thing. I am definitely indifferent, and I like you said, I don't have an issue with criticizing Howard when it's necessary. But in this situation, I feel like a lot of people are being completely irrational. And that's the thing. It's like the first time Howard had a protest. I protested when I was a student at the university, the Chadwick Boseman College of Fine Arts. This man protested my freshman year at the university. I met Chadwick Boseman at a protest. Come on now. The foundation of Howard University is to teach students, young people, to learn how to raise their voice. They go out in the world.
Hold on. That is the function.
We're training activists.
That is the function of an HBCU, and I think that's what we need to say. Listen, if you went to an HBCU,
we're training activists.
You are taught how to make it work. You are taught that. We are taught how to get out there and how to get it, baby. I don't care what HBCU you went to. If you are a graduate of an HBCU, you have friends that went to PWIs that look at you in awe because they can't believe that you're doing what you're doing the way you're doing it. When you went to a lowly little HBCU, and I don't care if it was Howard or Paul Quinn or Wiley College or Tuskegee, it doesn't matter. When you get an HBCU education, you are taught to raise your voice. You are taught to make it happen, and you are taught to work with limitations and not turn lemons into lemonade, but turn a lemon into a lemonade stand. That is what you are taught at the HBCU.
So it grows. You hear me? We growing lemon trees now. You gotta hear that. I honestly, so with the PWI perspective on things and the gays, it is like for me a problematic because I struggle with sometimes answering questions for them because it's almost like white gays adjacency, if that makes sense. It's like. It's like even watching The Insecure. Let's talk about that really quickly because I'm at the university. I do have a meeting, but let's talk about that really quickly. Why is it that Issa Rae, and I'm just going to ask you a question and give you back your own show, why did Issa Rae get permission from Stanford but didn't get permission from Alpha Kappa Alpha?
She got permission from Stanford University to film because Stanford has very restrictive policies on filming at their campus, on their campus, and utilizing any of the Stanford imagery. She had to clear all of that. But she didn't think enough of us to say, and I said I wasn't speaking of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She didn't think enough of the organization. Mind you, it is the oldest historically black sorority in the United States. It was the first organization of its kind to be incorporated, and it was incorporated in 1913. I'm saying something to somebody who can follow chronological order. And I am simply saying, you just because you are black does not mean you get an opportunity.
University.
Right. You know, that you get an opportunity to appropriate black culture and then say, well, no. It's not disrespectful because I'm black. That's basically what happened with that.
No, she should know better. No, she should know better. That's the thing. That's my issue with her. She should know better. We have a certain protocol. We have certain rules. And the shit that she did was goofy. She's just goofy to me. She's very goofy. This is the thing Issa Rae needs to work on. Issa Rae needs to focus on trying to figure out how she's going to aesthetically work through her hair issues.
Oh,
and now I'm going to get off because I told you I had to throw in a little bit of shade and be a little bit ratchet at the end. Issa Rae is disrespectful. What she did was disrespectful. And even if they don't know outside the house how we behave inside the house, you don't do that. That's goofy. It's not something that you do. She could have worn the pink and green. For her audience, we would have gotten the point. We didn't need all the rest of that. But she's just disrespectful and she's goofy. And that was not okay. Bottom line, point blank, and period. And as for Howard University, we will be fine. We have been fine. These students are doing exactly what they need to do, just like I did when I was here. And in the end, everybody is going to be okay. Howard's going to work through what they need to work through. They have responded. Culturally, you already know how you get treated when you a black child and it's grown people answering to you. They don't feel like they need, and that's what we're addressing as alumni. These are not children. These are students. So you have to respond to them. And that's really the bottom line and the position that I'm taking in this. Like for on the students we have, when they talk, you need to listen and then you need to respond. They're not children, they're students. But y'all already know black culture, how we do. You done been to church and everything else, and you know when you talk, you old people not listening.
That's right.
You know?
And I appreciate you taking...
and steal their life alert bracelet.
And I appreciate you taking the time to help kind of clear that up, because there seems to be a sentiment that nobody cares. And I'm like, no. My friends are at Howard, and
everybody cares.
And I did try to stay off
I'm
of
here
it.
right now. I'm right here on the campus right now. We all
to
care.
address the issues. So, okay. So we're going to go ahead and let you.
I love y'all.
We're going to let you do that. Please keep me updated so that we can let the black Twitter masses know that Howard got it. All right, the alumni's got it. This is Corey with the Black T Sip. I'm going to come back and finish talking about Issa Rae and HBCUs. We're going to put that to bed because I want to talk about the appropriation of black culture when you're black and how you mess it up. This is Corey with the Black T Sip. Take a quick break. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Nourished skin is healthy skin. Simply Ardor skincare products provides luxurious nourishment for your body. Indulge in rich scrubs and body butters and top it off with our sensational and unique aromatic lines of sprays and roll-on fragrances. It's simple and lovely. Simply Ardor. Love is real. Just spread it.
Louis on my eyes, but you got them days. Took you a whole year to bounce back. Took me a couple days. You hitting licks, I'm getting rich. I'm hitting C notes. Watch what you say. I got a pick. I can show you what he know. He can do tricks. He with the shit. Do what I tell him to. If he get at you, I plead the fifth. I didn't tell him to. I hit the block. The block was hot. I had to drop the top. Remember the name. Never forget the face. I'm coming back. Won't now? Go get your phone now. Yeah. Won't now? Go get your phone now. You should watch me shine. Look like I hit the lotto. Now I be on my grind. Bitches think I hit the lotto. You should watch me shine. Look like I hit the lotto.
All right, and we're back. This is Call with the Black Tea Sip. If you're just joining me, we talked about Howard University. I had Hillary Younger on, who is not only an alumni, but also an adjunct professor there, talking about the mold. And we were just kind of talking about how they are handling it. And I know it's been all over Black Twitter. But I want to get back. I took a pause when she called in because I did want to get her on. I want to talk about Issa Rae, HBO, and Insecure. And I have said, because you are Black does not mean that you get to appropriate all aspects of Black life. So I have a video. We got it queued up, Angelo. So Angelo, he got a haircut, y'all. Angelo is going to play this video. This is Amanda Seales. This is a couple of years ago. Let it run.
I don't know why people keep asking me if I'm a soror. I am not a soror. Tiffany is a soror. Tiffany is a character on a TV show. I didn't write the character. I play the character. I'm not a soror. I'm an actress. And I'm playing a character on a TV show. And I think reality TV done really got folks fucked up because, you know, it's like, it's all the same. But it's I'm just playing a character. That's it. Y'all know that, though. But some of y'all don't. I feel like some folks really forget. Like,
all right. That's Amanda Seales, and she's using the word soror. Now, I understand that everybody doesn't understand all of the protocols of Black Greek letter life, okay? Organizational life, BGLO. However, the statement should have been, I'm not a member of AKA. And I choose to believe, again, I am not speaking as a member, I'm speaking as an individual, a creator and a host of the show. I choose to believe that she absolutely knew that that's not how she should have handled that, because she mocked it. Now, I think people started to ask her, was she a soror? For those people that like to say Sarah, okay. Was she a soror? Because, you know, some people are in a sorority, but if you're a member of AKA, you're in a sorority. But I just want to clear that up. And so there were questions because of some of the shows. So people thought, okay, well, is she, a soror? I'll ask. And she mocked it. Because I think people were trying to tell her, you're going a little too far. And so that's why before the break, and we talked to Hillary about Howard, I was saying probably the leadership probably should have said, hey, don't use our props unless you're going to pay us. And I think that's my issue, and I think it's the issue for a lot of people, is that she's making a profit. HBO is making a profit, but the organization doesn't. Now, right now, I am drinking a not very good coffee from QT. I have moved that cup off of the camera because I'm not going to pay them. I told you the coffee's not even that good. I'm not going to pay them, and I don't want to enhance their brand. Now, QT probably doesn't care. Because they're thinking, a little old TV, a little old radio show that's on YouTube, and, they probably don't care. However, I'm not going to do it. In the same way that we've never seen Issa Rae where she's made a statement about Ciroc and held the bottle, or a Coca-Cola. Or like I told you, she hasn't gotten a package from her front door with the Amazon smile on it. You know why? Because she has to have a conversation with Jeff Bezos' people. She has to talk to the Coca-Cola team. She's going to have a conversation with Ciroc. Perfect. She got to get him on the phone, and he got to get her with his people. HBO's got to then do something in order to utilize that brand. But I want to go a step further, because all that you saw on Twitter was, it's a positive. She's putting that in a positive light. Well, let me say this. Number one, if an organization has lasted since 1908, okay? First organization of its kind to be incorporated, Black organization to be incorporated of its kind, 1913. First organization to ever be sound marked. So that you hear, You cannot do that unless you are a member where your name is registered at the national office. I really should say international office, because we are in Africa, we're in Japan, we're in other places. So you cannot do that. It has been sound marked. Thank you, former international president Sora Dorothy. So we are the first organization to be sound marked. So we've taken the necessary steps to ensure that our brand is legally protected, and that is not cheap to do that. So when organizational members and those, even non-affiliated people, were like, whoa, that's a little too far. For us to say, hey, that's not cool, wait a minute. People then mock that. And they wanted to try to say, oh, they're putting you in a positive light. Well, first of all, who are you to determine the positivity of the organization? I mean, that's very presumptuous. And I also think that the word is quite subjective. Who are you to tell us what is positive? But, and I want to go a little step further, because is Amanda Seales' character positive? I mean, what as black people do you determine positivity to look like? She's flighty. She's self-absorbed. She's full of self-gratification. She can be unkind. I really thought they were going to touch on postpartum depression, because she literally handed her baby off and said she didn't like the baby. Is that positive? Or is there something positive that could have come from it? And Issa Rae, not Issa Dean, because that's the character. Issa Rae dropped the ball as a writer, creator, and actor in the show. I mean, so what are we determining as positive? Because they're not shooting people and selling dope? Because, I mean, that's vast. That's a big old wide thing from one extreme to the other. Because the women that I know that are members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated are substance women. Women that are trying to change the world, not just for themselves, for the betterment of all mankind. Those are the women that I know. The women that I know literally run for office, protest, set things in motion. The woman that I know, Jane Hamilton, a friend of this show, who is a member of AKA, who has a Congressional Exploratory Committee now. She was instrumental in making sure that the little boy Samaritan in Plano, that the little boys beat and forced him to drink urine, that the school no longer can say, oh, well, this is our idea of bullying. Now it is a state law that you have to have on your books at a school what the policies are and how you are effectuating them. That's Jane Hamilton. Friend of mine, Crystal James, who is a friend of this show, who's been on the show many times. She is in New Orleans at Delgado College trying to make sure that these kids have real programs that are going to benefit them for life, so that they have IT programs and they are getting jobs. Each one of us in our corner of the world trying to make it a better place. So that's not what Tiffany's doing. I don't even know if Tiffany has a job. She kind of like Tommy from Martin. I don't know what the girl does. So who's to determine positivity? Molly is also an AKA on the show. Molly is as screwed up as screwed up could be. I mean, so when we start talking about what's positive, who's making the determinations? And are you making those determinations and telling the members who are upset about their brand what they should be upset about? I mean, how presumptuous is that? You know, black folk kill me, and I'm not talking about folks, F-O-L-K, I'm talking about black folk. Y'all kill me. Because the minute that somebody says, I don't like something, y'all want to pray. Y'all out here beating the street for Issa Rae, and she don't know you breathe air. Because I don't know what Issa's doing for real, but I have not heard of her spending that HBO check in a way that's benefiting y'all who's out here hollering. I mean, I might be wrong, but I haven't seen it. So if someone is telling you I don't like it, then they have a right to not like it. But here's what I do know. Trademark infringement is a very real thing. When you do that, there are consequences. But I think it's disrespectful, and that's how I feel, Because I'm not speaking for the membership. I'm telling, I thought it was disrespectful. Hillary is not a member of any organization. She's what we used to call a GDI. And y'all had to figure that out. The last word is individual. So she said she thought it was highly disrespectful. And here's the other caveat to it. I've been told by a couple of people that actually know, one of which works in Hollywood, that her close friends, like her real true life friends, are actual members of the organization. Are y'all financial? Active? Because that's a touch on the shoulder. Hey, now, wait a minute now, you're going a little far. You know, and that didn't happen. No one cares that the girl was wearing pink and green. The Gucci outfit was fire. I don't think it was $3,000 fire, but it was fire. Nobody had a problem with that. And I have a problem with the fact I knew she didn't get permission. For all you ding-dongs out there talking about she got permission, she didn't get permission because she only showed the shield from a side view. So if you knew, you knew. And then she showed the top of the sweater with the A. So if you know, you know. It wasn't a full-on where you get the whole sweater. And that's how I knew she didn't get permission. That's how a lot of people knew she didn't get permission. But then we saw Stanford up there big as life. Those are the things that make you say, because she had to get permission from Stanford. So while y'all are out here beating this Issa Rae drum and pumping it up for her, man, really, for real, boo-boo, hold up now, stay in your lane. Because this is beyond the brevity and scope of your understanding. Some of y'all out here, especially these Twitter people, y'all zygotes. Y'all look that up. That's a fertilized ovum, O-V-U-M. It ain't even, it's just newly fertilized. That's how young y'all are in the game. Trying to tell people that have been around 25 plus years how they should feel, or if they've only been around 2 years. Because here's the thing that's been said. We played the video from Tiffany where she says, I'm not a soror. Okay, that was highly disrespectful. But the thing that has been said is that we were mad because she was playing an AKA. No, that's not at all why people were mad. And that's stupid. I got to take a break. We got to pay some bills. I'm going to come back and I want to talk about beyond AKA, the misappropriation of brands because you're black. Because y'all love Amari from Ghost, but he did something that was suspect, made me raise my eyebrows. This is Coy with the Black Tea Sip. Y'all stay with me. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Go grab your cup. I'm going to fill it up.
Hi there, this is Dr. Sharon, host of The Weekend Manna Show, broadcasting live each week on Saturdays at 11 a.m. from the Fishbowl Network studios at Global Life Park, Arlington, Texas. Log on to hear inspirational nuggets that will inspire your walk with God. Be sure to log on each day on Saturday at 11 a.m. to catch The Weekend Manna Show with Dr. Sharon
on FishbowlRadioNetwork.com. Jump in.
Podcasters and internet radio hosts, it's time to take your show to the next level. Hi, my name is Sammy G, a 30-plus year radio broadcasting veteran, public speaker, and voiceover artist. And for the last 11 years, now the proud owner of Fishbowl Radio Network, the largest and most listened to streaming platform and radio station facility of its kind. 2 years ago, I created a proprietary system to help podcasters and internet radio hosts learn how to program their show like the pros, build a constantly growing and loyal fan base, and monetize their show. I teach this system every 6 weeks via Zoom to individuals all over the world. The Behind the Mic Masterclass is 6 one-hour classes that will finally take your show to the next level. Call today, 817-633-4880, 817-633-4880, and reserve your seat for the next Behind the Mic Masterclass.
Hello everyone, this is
Eddie
and Maria, owners of the Pinche Smokers Tex-Mex Barbecue.
If you're looking for some good finger-licking barbecue, come check us out.
We are located in the Oak Cliff area. We also offer catering for weddings, quinces, and any other type of occasions. You can contact us at 214-579-0570.
You can find us on social media at Pinche Smokers Tex-Mex Barbecue LLC on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.
Come check us out, the best barbecue in the DFW.
Hi, this is Diane Marion Eunice, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. For the past 9 years, I have worked with over 300 couples in the areas of sexual health, communication, and conflict resolution. If you are interested in rebuilding connection and intimacy with your partner, please contact me today. I can be reached at 682-201-8175, or you can email me at diane@letstalkrelationships.org, or visit my website at www.letstalkrelationships.org. And remember, you can't heal if you refuse to deal.
We are so excited to announce that Antries Jones Productions has a new TV series coming out called Blocked. Blocked is a suspenseful drama surrounding a young lady named April who is at war with herself, and with a cold heart, she shatters anyone who tries to mend any brokenness from her past. Life itself has dragged her to hell and back, and she's going to make sure that God himself feels her wrath. Blocked is a nail-biter as it confronts many societal issues like church culture, molestation, hypocrisy, judgmental friends, and the inner turmoil of finding your own identity. Matter of fact, we have Antries Jones, who is the director, the producer, and the writer of this brand new series in the studio with us today.
Hey everybody, it's me, Antries Jones. Connect with us. Follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I look forward to connecting with you. Stay tuned for my new TV series, Blocked, coming soon to streaming services. Yes!
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
Hello, all you melanated beauties, sun-kissed by God's lips. This is Coy with your black tea sip. I'm sipping power to pour you the truth. Go grab your cup. Let's fill it up.
All right, and we're back. This is Coy with your black tea sip. If you're just joining us, we are talking about Issa Rae, HBO, and Insecure, and how black people can also misappropriate someone's culture. So the appropriation of black culture is going on. I've talked about it before with Kim K and the box braids. Now, we ain't never called them box braids before, but then she got them, and now they box braids, and that's how you have to refer to them so people know what you want. And I don't know that you need them box parts in your head, but that's a talk show for a different day. My grandmother never did it that way, but, you know, nobody asked me my opinion on box braids. So here we are, you know, watching the show, and here is the thing that kills me. When she made references to the sorority, members really supported her, supported the show, made sure they didn't miss it, talked about it, gave her shout outs and pats on the back. And what we got from her was, and it's a tweet, and she says something to the effect of, oh, you don't, now I'm paraphrasing, you don't like her wearing it or something. Oh, let me tell HBO to pull down all the other shows. Say what now? That's what we doing? That's what you gonna tell people who've been supporting your show? You know, we didn't even say nothing about that great big old smile and them big old horse teeth. We didn't say nothing about that. We just kept letting you do your thing and supporting you in a very real way. And so if people said, hey, I don't like that you did this, there should have been more humility in it. Amanda Seals, there should have been more humility in it, because the truth is you wouldn't have done it to a white organization. And it's not just if it's AKA. It's not just if it's Delta 6 Theta or Zeta Phi Beta or, you know, Omega Psi Phi. It's not that. It is the fact that you felt like you could get away with it with the side filming of the Shield and just the A. No, you thought you were gonna get away with it because the woman that does the costume designing. So she has always made a point to avoid putting the character in actual AKA paraphernalia, since she's not a real, and it says soror. This is not just me talking. You can look and find it. It's on Black Enterprises. It's a whole article about it. They were always careful not to do that. So who was it who actually made a decision that that no longer mattered? Who's that person who decided that they didn't have to respect the organization, its membership? Okay, let's say you don't have to respect that. You don't have to respect the organization. You don't have to respect the membership. Do you not need to respect the legal trademark? I mean, so now we're talking about legalities. Because that's a violation. That is an illegal act for those people who can't seem to wrap their mind around that fact. That this is appropriating something for the purposes of your profit margin without having a conversation with the brand owner and asking, is it all right? They could have created Stanford. And the people that went to Stanford would have known that was Stanford. And they could have just merely made mentions of Stanford. You don't have to go and get an Amazon box if you're going to talk about Amazon. But the minute you start showing that brand, and here's the other thing that I want you to keep in mind. When you see a Coke can in a movie, they have either asked Coke for permission to use it and or paid Coke, or Coca-Cola has said, hey, for specific brand placement like Apple, when you see people working on their computers and you see the actual Apple brand, Apple has paid them for premium placement. Money is exchanged. Someone profits and someone gets something. It's a contract where you have to have offer and acceptance. She did not give the members of the organization the opportunity of offer and acceptance. She just used it. And the problem with that is it's not okay because she's black. You're telling a story. You're telling the story your way. Because I don't know anybody like Amanda Seales' character. I don't have any relationships with anybody that's like her within the organization. So that's not, now that's my experience. But it certainly is not a culminating factor of who a member of AKA is. I had someone tell me on the Twitter, the black Twitter, not the white one, the black Twitter. I had somebody tell me that that's why Amanda Seales is an AKA on the show because of her color, and that at her university, they wouldn't, on her campus is what she called it, they wouldn't let people unless they were light-skinned pledge. Well, you could look at me and say that's not true, because who is not light-skinned is me. So, okay, don't use me. Take me out of it. Get me out of it. Don't use me. Molly's character, she is definitely not light-skinned. So, what are you saying? But I don't really know anybody like Molly either. Because, she all screwed up, and she got mad at Issa last season because Issa Rae was asking for some help. And, that's not part of who AKAs are, because the AKA mantra is we help each other. So there's a disconnect there. So while Issa Rae is telling the story of who she believes women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated are, she missed a key factor, but nobody said anything. She was allowed to tell her story her way. So y'all need to sit down. Stay in your lane. You people got their blinkers on and they shoelacing in through this AKA traffic. That is not what this is about. It is about the fact that you use someone's brand, their actual imagery, which has been trademarked. And we are trademarked, copywritten, and sound marked, and do something with it. Here, that is the truth. So you can't decide that you just going to use somebody's something. Because let me say this. I talked about Amari. Y'all like Amari. He real short, but he kind of cute. Y'all talked about Amari from Power, who played the character Ghost. He was in another film. He is a member, first family member. First is spelled with a PH. Family is spelled with a PH. First family, like Alpha. Okay, for those of you who couldn't quite connect the dots. And so he's an alpha, but the character he was playing, the director decided that he needed a more, as he put it, manly image, and so they put an Omega Sci-Fi brand on his arm. That's a no-no. Now, I know Amari trying to eat. He trying to, he's trying to stay relevant and do some other things, and so, okay. Alphas didn't like it and the Qs didn't like it either. That's you can't just use people's stuff. You can't go in somebody's house, get their stuff, put it out on the front lawn, display it the way you want to, call it yours, and profit off of it and say it's art imitating life. You can't do that. And what I want to know from all you people who are upset, why is it okay for her to seek permission from Stanford, but not okay for her to seek permission from AKA? Is it because she's black? Because black folks can be wrong too. I say all the time, well, all white folks ain't bad, and all black folks ain't good. And this right here was a bad thing that the black girl did. It wasn't good. And y'all need to really mind your business and stay. And you need to make sure that you understand the issue before you speak, or in the case of Twitter, type. People didn't like it. And they had a right not to like it. Because it's not okay to just use people's stuff. When you're profiting, and I think that's the part that's being missed. She's making money off of this story, telling it her way. She puts them in pink and green. She puts a coffee cup in the background, a paddle. Nobody said anything. They allowed her to use the props. I think that was a mistake. I think it should have been shut down. And I think at this point, the organization has played a role in their own disappointment. But I also want to take into consideration that is not the totality of who the members are. That's her version of events. She has been allowed to tell her story her way, but she can't just come and use our stuff. Now we let her do that to a point. So I think that should clear it up for some people that really don't understand. I think in the same way when we talked about Howard earlier, someone texted me and said that the dorm was 1% of the dorms at Howard. When I went to Prairie View and Hillary made a statement about that, a girl I grew up with, we call her Pinky, she made sure that I was in Banks Hall when I got to PV, that I wasn't in any of the dorms. Banks Hall had been renovated. The other dorms had not. She made sure I got in the dorm that had been renovated. So, when you know people, you get things done. Some of those kids ended up in the other dorm. I think for people to be out there on Twitter talking about it and saying all kinds of things, and the kids are showing it, but they're using their resources, and so nobody's mad at them. But a lot of people are speaking on it, and they have no idea. They ain't never set foot on Howard's campus before. They have no respect for it. A lot of people didn't have respect for it. And that's another thing where we have this internal battle within the black community, PWIs. PWI stands for predominantly white institution. HBCU stands for historically black college or university. So I want you to keep something in mind. The only reason that HBCUs exist is and the location, the geography of where they exist, is in most of those places, with the exception of Howard University and some places up in the far north. Those institutions exist because of slavery and the incredible attempt for men and women, ex-slaves, to educate, because it was a crime for black people to read, slaves in particular. But even if you were free, they really didn't want you to read, because what? Knowledge is power. So those institutions exist because of slavery. And so when we start to talk about the HBCU versus the PWI experience, I had somebody tell me at the Alpha Gala, shout out to Forrest Jackson, had a great time with he and his wife. I had someone tell me that people make the statements from PWIs because they're jealous of the experience. They're jealous of the homage that we pay to our institutions, the respect that we have from one another of that shared HBCU experience. And so the idea that you are just going to lambast all HBCUs because of what's going on at Howard is ridiculous. It's disheartening, because HBCUs have been around a long time. Let me just point it out. You know, Paul Quinn College is the oldest historically black college west of the Mississippi. It's been around since 1876. 1876. For those of you who can't do the math, we're in 2021. So if you get your calculator and then you put in your calculator, or if you just write it down, if you put 2021 minus 1876, you'll get how many years that institution has survived. Leaving Austin, going to Waco, and then moving on to the campus of Bishop College, where it currently exists in Highland Hills, Texas. So understanding that these universities and colleges are very, very old. Shout out to Wiley, who is now not Wiley College, but Wiley University. That sounds real good. Y'all need to take some of those things in consideration. Issa Rae is never going to do that. She's a Stanford graduate. She doesn't understand that when you start taking historical black stuff and using it and speaking on it and treating it as your own, there is a certain level of respect that you owe the historical nature of that institution. And she did not do that. She disrespected that. This is Call with the Black T Sip. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. I want to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith and Gwyneth Paltrow and Jada Mama, and they talking about all kinds of things about rolling in the bed and what will, can, and cannot do. And some of y'all got it on Twitter and toe up again, but Jada need to keep her mouth closed. This is Call with the Black T Sip. Go grab a cup. I ain't through. We're going to fill it up.
Do you want to find a stable job in a growing field? IT jobs such as network systems administrators, cybersecurity, programming, cloud, and computer systems analysts are expected to increase 25% by 2022. Texas Premier Technology Institute offers training for top certifications such as CompTIA, Cisco, and Microsoft in less than 12 weeks. And if you're unemployed or underemployed, you may qualify for free tuition. Contact TPTI at 1-888-490-TPTI or check them out on the web at tpti.us.
Over a year ago, we gave you the marquee. Luther Vandross and his bros and queens. Abundantly satisfying, we did more than please. Made you part of your bit and put your mind at ease. And then we spoke on everything else in between. We ain't come for the shine, but we left with the rated highly approved. Put you back in the mood. Gave it to DJs and put the needle to the groove. All star, all minus, all par. Boo the V, send Q, and we are loose cannons, no comparisons by far. We do what we do when we are who we are. Dope music, high jump, raise the bar. So soothing, we do what they are. The vision would seem like Stevie and Ray Charles. In the hazy room, fat sacks and fat gauze. Yeah.
Back to back nights partying. Only stop to pray and then we start again. Just live today and let the rest go. We already know the way, baby, let's roll. And get back to the groove. Back to the basics, back in the mood. Back to the music, back to the truth. Back to the proof, I'll be watching over you. Coming back, things, big dreams, I'm still big, it's the big time. Bright lights in the big city, big ego. Pockets getting bigger, big Nino. Big under pressure, hit some pretty big free throws. I've been cold, started a fire, still froze. I am someone you should admire. The eye of the tiger. From now on, address me as sire. The situation could be more dire. Deep sea diver. From out the frying pan to the fire. MCs be like backseat drivers, tell them buckle up. Big trucks, we riding big wheels. Big pump, big tuck, bitch, I'm a big deal. Bigger the cap, the bigger the billing. The bigger her ass, the better the feeling. The bigger the bag, the hyper the show. I take it in cash and 20s and more. Back to back nights partying. Only stop to pray and then we start again. Just live today and let the rest go. We already know the way, baby, let's roll.
All right, this is Cora with the Black Tea Sip. If you're listening to the music, we're taking music from independent artists. That was Luther Vandross. He's got some good music. You should check him out. So we were talking about Howard and talking about HBO and the misappropriation of black culture. And so it brings me to Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is in the news again. And today or yesterday, she was trying to clear up her red table talk that she had with Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, I'm not a big Jada Pinkett Smith fan. I think, the kids are weird and she's weird and Will is goofy. But, that's that little black family in the nucleus. And who am I to speak on it, really? I mean, y'all don't really care what I think. The Pinkett Smith people don't. And why should they? In the same vein, I don't really care what Will and Jada do in their bedroom. But Jada was not emasculating Will again. And I am emphasizing in all caps again. What she was doing, in my opinion, was simply having the conversation on Red Table Talk. And it is her life to tell. I think she ought to stop. I think that she brings us in her bedroom too often. And I care not to know. However, it is absolutely her right to do it. Now, what she said was, in order to maintain a healthy sex life, she said you have to have communication. And I think that's a very valid point. On the show, in Gwyneth Paltrow's show, she brought this sex life. What I don't understand is how in the world did Gwyneth Paltrow become a sex guru? But I guess that's a talk show for a different day. So she just seems weird. She named her baby Apple. Like, she seems like she would like one of those people that wants to put like a scarf over the lamp so it can have a certain color in the bedroom. Like, to me, that's how Gwyneth Paltrow would set the mood. But I don't know what she does. I don't have no clue. But she just seemed weird. But now she's like a sex guru, and she has a show called Sex, Love, and Goop, Goop. Ew, see, she named the show weird. So they're having a conversation because of this women's empowerment thing. And they want to talk about how to be pleased and to talk about pleasure. And, I didn't see anything wrong with that because I think people need to know. I actually know a couple of people that have brought children into the world and had never had an orgasm. It's mind-boggling to me, but people, this is a thing in America because it's not like this all over the world. Like in Europe, for instance, Italy and France, and where they have wine and 12-year-olds drink wine and they're not necessarily alcoholics. I'm not saying they don't have alcoholism in Europe. I'm simply saying it's certainly not to our level. And, when you expose children to things, it's less likely to be this thing that they want to go out and do. So, but the human body is celebrated in ways all over the world that we are very restrictive. And that is because I believe that we are supposed to be, a Christian-based nation. Now, yes, you can celebrate your God and it's supposed to be free to do that in all various ways. And so, but for the most part, we find a lot of things taboo where they don't in other parts of the world. So this show is to really help people get in touch with themselves and help their partners get in touch with their underparts. Let's call it that. And, well, Jada said in order to maintain a healthy sex life, you really have to have a conversation and you learn each other and, does that work for you? And y'all went off trying to protect Will's little goofy tail. And you let Jada have it. And she really didn't say anything that was emasculating this time. Like, Jada really just kind of said, it takes a lot. So now, this is what she says, Red Table to Gwyneth Paltrow. It's hard. The thing Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. We started in this at a very young age, 22 years old. That's why the accountability part really hit for me because I think you expect your partner to know what you need, especially when it comes to sex. It's like, well, if you love me, you should know. If you love me, you should read my mind. She said that's a huge pitfall. She went on, you tell me what you need, tell me what you want, and on top of it, I know that I have to be accountable to do the same thing. Okay, she continues. It's uncomfortable, but it's deeply healthy, and I think around sex because it's something that we don't talk about, and there's so much fantasy around it. Okay, that's what she was saying on the Red Table Talk. Y'all said Will is boo-boo in bed. y'all ought to stop yourself. Now, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself talking about poor Will like that. Will got enough problems. He's still trying to live through the entanglement. And I think that's why y'all came to his defense. Because you wanted to help Will live through the embarrassment of the entanglement, and you feel like, oh, she's talking about a body, talking about their bodies clumping together in closed spaces. So y'all came out and said, oh, jump down her throat. Now, listen, I do think that Jada does a lot. I liken Jada to Gabrielle Union. Do anything to stay relevant. I kind of think that's what that was. And I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith, much like Gabrielle Union, puts a lot of things out there so that people can see that they're real and that they seem like the kind of person you'd like to have a cocktail with, and they seem approachable because they're sharing all of their things. Well, this is what y'all should know. While they are sharing their things, it's kind of like a Lemonade album and then followed up by a 444 album. They made money off of their tragedies, their horrors, their whatever they're telling y'all. And it's also embellished so that y'all believe more of it, that you buy in, that you become a hive, if you will, that you either protect Will and go after her, or you're supporting Gabby and Dwayne Wade, and they switching up clothes and doing all kinds of things that don't make sense to me, and I can't stand Gabrielle Union. It's a fact. So I think y'all ought not always fall for the banana in the tailpipe. These people are making money. This is self-gratification for them. And yes, it may help some people. That's not lost on me. It may help someone. Now, a lot of people have a lot of mysticism about sex and intimacy and closeness. And I think a lot of women in particular, and black women, we are taught that, there are certain things you don't talk about, and, and if you don't have it, then, you just do without kind of thing. And that's crazy. And I think that we should be mindful that people really do need help. Now, whether you're going to get it from Gwyneth Paltrow and her Sex, Love, and Goop show, or getting it from Jada Pinkett Smith and her Red Table Talk, well, that's up to you. Because there are resources available to you. Resources. I mean, I actually have a guy I grew up with, a homeboy. His wife is a sex therapist. I mean, there are some other resources available to you Google can be your friend. You don't have to get it from Jada. But if that's what you like and you want to get it from Jada, but I do think that y'all go too hard for Will. I mean, yeah, he bubblegum popcorn, but he's not really the Fresh Prince. I mean, Will's all right. Because, Jada don't work, child. She ain't. I mean, she got that little rock band thing that she does, but I mean, has it ever even been to Dallas? Well, I don't know, because I'm not into no screaming, hollering, whatever they call that, metal rock or whatever that stuff is. And she's only doing that because she don't have no talent. She can't sing for real. Okay, never mind. Let me get back to the topic at hand. I've digressed. So when all of this blew up, right? All of this blew up and y'all got mad and you went after her. She had to release a statement a day ago. This is her tweet. Only because I got time today. Y'all can sure be pity. Stop making up headlines. Watch the @Red Table Talk I did with Gwyneth Paltrow for yourselves. Will and I have never had an issue in the bedroom. Thank you, she tweeted. Okay, well. If you have had an issue in the bedroom, Jada, that's a whole big old fat juicy story to your lie, because you was screwing a little boy that could have been your baby. I mean, you were old enough to be this child's mother. So, that's like fake news. That don't sound right. I just think that Jada would have less problems if she would just keep her mouth closed. She's kind of like Aisha Curry, Steph Curry's wife. She says stupid cornball things and then tries to justify them and act like everybody else is wrong. If y'all keep people out from under your skirts, like they are lifting their skirts up, like, this, and telling people to come say have a looky-loo, and then mad when people want to comment about what they see. I just don't, child. So I'm like, okay, Jada, you wanted to have a show. You wanted to bring on Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow has turned to some sex guru, and she has this show now. And so you were hoping to help women. got it. Because what I know for a fact is there's a lot of women out here. Yeah, there's a lot of people out here struggling in these streets, and it's not just black women. Because I'm in a group, a Facebook group. Now, I'm not going to give them a shout out or anything. But I am in a Facebook group, and we are reading the things that are being said. And yes, some of y'all are really on the struggle bus. And so now, you got this this pleasure toy called the flower. Everybody found out about the flower. Oh, okay. So there are people that want help, and there are a lot of rigid men out there that will not allow their women, don't want to participate with them, don't want them to have it in the house. It's an ego thing, and they start to feel bad about themselves, and they don't want them to have pleasure toys. And so there are places you can go to learn how to use them together as a couple, and that it's not necessarily a reflection of you as a man. It doesn't have anything to do with your manhood. People are trying to spice up the bedroom. Okay, so maybe these love, sex, and goop shows are necessary. But the people who are watching them are putting too much emphasis on the person who's giving the information instead of the lessons that they may or may not learn. That is my takeaway. And so while Jada Pinkett Smith, seemingly she wants to mean well, I think a lot of that is her trying to stay relevant. Because, it's Will that makes all the money. So she got to do something. And the Red Table Talk is a very popular show. I don't typically watch it. I watched it this time, and that's how I know Jada really didn't do anything. She didn't do anything bad. It's a lot. Here's an example. There is a lot going on in the world. I want to show you. Let's bring up the protest. I don't even know if you can call it a protest. Let's bring this. I want y'all to see this. This is happening in the world today.
Motion of the ocean, 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 motion of the ocean.
That's actually going on in LA, where these men were, I don't even know what you call it. So I don't know if this was an actual protest per se, where they're trying to get people to stop being judgmental of men that are less endowed. Because you heard them say motion of the ocean. So let me help y'all. The actual statement is, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. So they're chanting motion of the ocean because the idea is to get them to be less criticized and to help people. Look, let me say this. The LGBTQ community has empowered people to protest whatever they want to change. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I've never seen anything like that before. But Jada is out here trying to help people. These men are out here trying to have people be less critical of their small dimensions. It is a lot going on in the world. And Jada was just simply saying it takes a lot to maintain a healthy relationship. From the age of 22 to 52 is 30 years that she and Will have been together. And she was simply saying that you have to continue to be very creative and to continue to do things so that you keep that spark. And I truly believe that they lost the spark for at least a while because she was all entangled. But this is Hollywood. And black Hollywood is not very different than white Hollywood. They all weird and into strange things except for Denzel and maybe one or two others, maybe Samuel L. maybe not Samuel. And so, you know, people, you out here beating the drum for Will, but it is well known that Jada and Will was switcherooing and changing up and open marriaging. And so let's just leave Will and Jada alone. Let's support the men that are out here with the motion of the ocean. Let's do that part. Let's just, everybody, motion of the ocean. This is Call with the Black Tea Sip. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back. This is too much. Give me 2 commercials and a song.
Door Skincare Products provides luxurious nourishment for your body. Indulge in rich scrubs and body butters and top it off with our sensational and unique aromatic lines of sprays and roll-on fragrances. It's simple and lovely. Simply our door. Love is real. Just spread it.
Now available, T.H. Moore's newest novel titled I Am follows a young African-American couple who are forced to pick up the pieces of their marriage after the violent loss of their young godson at the hands of a local white policeman. The loss sparks not only their community's anger, but also the rage of a vigilante who initiates a nationwide killing spree targeted at corrupt police officers. New York Times best-selling author Omar Tyree praises T.H. Moore's new novel as an audacious story and read. Dr. Christopher C. Irving, CEO of the Miller Institute for Leadership and Diversity in America, calls it a daring story. I Am by T.H. Moore, now available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and at thmoore.com.
Can we get another video on? It's too late. Okay, no, I'm sending it to you. Because I need a filler.
On asking me where I wanna be next to you. Baby, I'm thankful for the game that you're teaching me. I take it to heart. I want a piece of you. I wanna be yours. I wanna know what you think. When we talk, what you feel. There is a problem, babe. Don't know if it's real or not. I know what I feel. I need some more of you. You and me belong together. I don't mind showing you it's real. I feel your heart when it beat. Me and you, we on the same team. I wanna be yours. I wanna be yours. I got a smart mouth, but I want it to be yours. I got a good heart and it's beating for you. Don't have to show me it's real. I wanna be, yeah. I don't mind showing you it's real. I wanna be, 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 yeah. I wanna be, don't think I don't notice. I love how you glowing up. You taught me the basics about diamonds and snakes. Timing is precious and it's better to wait. Tick tock, baby, I'm listening. I wanna know more. Don't wanna be your apprentice. I wanna be yours. I'm ready to jump in the deep end now. Baby, I'm sure you got that high dollar love, babe, like Christian Dior. Don't wanna be your friend, baby. I wanna be yours. Real or not, I know what I feel. I need some more of you. You and me belong together. I don't mind showing you it's real. I feel your heart when it beat. Me and you, we on the same team. I wanna be yours. I wanna be. I got a smart mouth, but I want it to be yours. I got a good heart and it's beating for you.
All right, and we're back. This is Court with the Black Tea Sip. If you're just joining us, we are talking about the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and Gwyneth Paltrow. And I'm just saying Jada needs to keep her mouth closed. But you all have a lot to say. You want to really help Will and support him because Jada just treats him so bad. And no, she doesn't. Jada just trying to do what she can do to stay relevant because, Jada ain't bringing in no money and she done raised them weird kids. And so she ain't got nothing to do. She an empty nester. All right, so we're talking about the fact that there are a lot of people that are out here on the struggle bus, not only in relationships, but their levels of intimacy. And Jada thought she would help them out, and Gwyneth got a whole show dedicated to it. And I'm going to tell you how rough it is in these streets. Let's run the clip, Angelo, so that people can see, what's happening. And I don't think this video has any sound, really. Can they hear me? So this woman just got out of an Amazon vehicle, but she doesn't have any packages or anything in her hand. And so the man has been fired from Amazon because they didn't think that was appropriate conduct, that she was in there. And so it begs the question, what was that lady doing in that Amazon truck? I'm telling y'all, it is rough out here in these streets because that woman has had to get her love, sex, and goop from the Amazon man while he's on duty. And, it's a lot of foolishness going on out here, and y'all are buying into it. And one of my friends on YouTube says the social media is really divided. It is. You got some people on social media that have some sense, and then you got some stark, raving, mad lunatics, and you put them all together, and you get a mixed bag of stew that actually, if you don't get yourself overly involved, it can be quite enjoyable to watch all the foolishness. So we're going to give Will and Jada, we're going to give them a break. I hope they'll give us one. And Aisha Curry, we got her together. She's not talking as much, or at least she's not making the news when she does talk. So we've kind of gotten her together where she shuts up and stops talking about her sex life. And because she was doing that with Steph Curry, she was telling us that Steph Curry just, for lack of a better word, he just ain't hitting it right, and so that was emasculating and humiliating. And I want to say this. Now y'all know, I'm a lover of black men. And her sisters get mad at me a lot of times. I've been told I don't hold black men accountable. I have 4 brothers. I'm raising 2 beautiful black boys, and my daddy is an awesome black man, and he's been with my mother over 50 years. And I want to say this. Whenever something happens, we either want to run to the man's rescue with criticism because y'all wanted to defend Will, but the real thing was you were defending him because what? You thought he was lousy in bed? I don't know if that requires a defense. I guess you have to defend if the wife is out here in these streets saying otherwise, although that's not what Jada was doing. But if she shut up, we wouldn't have nothing to say. The way you keep people out your business is you don't have any, but she doesn't subscribe to that philosophy. Now, with that being said, the other faction is that people drag black men. These brothers are being drugged for filth all of the time, unnecessarily. It's unwarranted and unwarranted. And I just don't understand, because Tate's right. Y'all should check him out on TMI News on YouTube. He's right. Social media is very, very divided. You either have stark, raving, mad lunatics or people kind of with some sense. And then it's really there for the jokes. I'm only on Twitter for the jokes. And I really don't even have the good Twitter. I have to wait for Sean to send it to me. I kind of slide in the back door of black Twitter. Be there for the jokes. Be there for the, have you heard? Be there for the water cooler conversations. And let's normalize not dragging all black men as a collective for filth. Can we normalize that? That would be great if we could do that. I mean, that would be awesome if y'all would do that and know who needs defending and who doesn't. I mean, now, Will don't need no defending. I just let him do his thing. Let's support Howard's ability to get these kids squared away. I know that, people said that Howard didn't care, and that I found that hard to believe. I even say the same thing about Paul Quinn. And then Paul Quinn still got some issues, but I am celebrating the fact that there's a beautiful new gym. So if you haven't seen it, go to the Paul Quinn webpage and check it out. New Student Life Center. So I'm backing up off of Mike Sorrell because he shut me up by showing me some things. And y'all that watch the show and are Paul Quinn alums, and y'all can go ahead and tell him I'll be quiet. But, it's kind of like Friday. When I get in the car, I'll be talking again. I'm just going to report how I see it. I'm going to close this thing out. I'm going to show this video of Howard. They are no longer allowing the kids to occupy the building. So it was kind of like, remember Occupy Wall Street? What was happening? The students were protesting. They were not sleeping in their dorm, and they had occupied this building. And it was kind of like Tent City, but in the building, sleeping bags and things. It was kind of like an Occupy Wall Street. We're going to play this video, and I'm going to close out with this because I want people to understand exactly what these kids are doing. Because these kids, well, they're students. They're not necessarily children, and they are fighting back.
These students can no longer go in and out. So these are the same officers that have been letting us go in and out freely since October 12th, and it's what October 23rd, right? Yeah, so it's been 11 days that we've been protesting. We haven't been doing anything. Yeah, we haven't been doing anything illegal at all. No vandalism. Like there isn't no physical force. Nothing. We're actually in our constitutional rights and in the student code of conduct. So it's just very, very confusing and flabbergasting, and I'm bewildered at the fact that you're standing right here, and the same officer that has opened the door for us time and time again to let us in and out is saying no. Master said y'all have to stay out.
Shame on you.
Shame.
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 And we want to make sure it's known that we are saying shame to that uniform. But I do want to bring love to you because you are a black man. We love you because you are a black man, but we are disappointed in you because you are letting that suit take control of you as a person. You're letting that $20 an hour because y'all got real comfortable and showed us y'all paychecks. Y'all got real comfortable and showed us y'all paychecks. So y'all are making between $20 to $25 an hour. Y'all can fact check that too. I can look that up. But yeah, we know that because y'all actually, y'all mess with us. Y'all was chilling with us. We gave y'all waters. We learned y'all names. We said good morning. How are you doing? And now you're saying, fuck you. We don't answer to you. We answer to Malcolm.
At Howard. So listen, as bad as the conditions have been reported all over social media, and I said this to Hillary, I would be pissed if it was my son. But I'd be trying to figure out something for my son. But don't you see these babies are empowered? And, you don't let me in. They playing the dozens a little bit and talking about the hourly rate. But they're not helpless. The situation is not hopeless. And I want to leave this with you, black people. You have everything inside of you to make it. We are the very epitome of they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. Some of y'all getting caught up in too much bull. Now that's my soapbox theory. Y'all getting caught up with all this foolishness. Jada, you got Issa Rae, multi-millionaire telling y'all how y'all should feel, and y'all telling members of an organization that it's okay because she's shining a positive light on you. Come on now. And truly, if it was any black organization, it doesn't matter if it's a sorority, because that's been said too. It could be the Links. It could have been Jack and Jill of America. It could have been top ladies of distinction. It could have been Iota, which is not part of the Panhellenic Council. It could have been, and I can't think of the name of the black organization for breast cancer survivors, because y'all know Susan G. Coleman done really help people that look like us. Y'all need to know that when y'all out there marching with them and giving them your money. And so a lot of black women that have breast cancer, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, from Susan G. Coleman, don't get the help, the tools, and the resources that they need. There are other organizations out there to try to help people that are of black and brown descent. And so when we start to decide that we know, that we understand, and we're picking sides, sometimes y'all are, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to stay in your lane. And these kids at Howard, everybody's had something to say. I've had something to say. If it was my child, I'd be upset. But I also understand the Black life experience, and I've had several people tell me that's not every dorm. And somebody said, well, it's more than one dorm. I know with Paul Quinn, it took some time. So I'm imparting that with you all today, that maybe we ought to take a step back. Y'all not always speak because you don't always know what you're talking about. And when it comes to a Black Greek letter organization, there is a lot of pride in wearing those letters. And you know why? Because you had to do something to get them. And that's the part that I did not say earlier. You had to do something to get them. Now, the process has changed a great deal, and not all of us agree with all of the processes that go into it. It doesn't matter what the Greek letter organization is, whether it's a frat or a sorority. There are many people, me included, that think that there ought to be some changes in the process. But we still respect the historical nature, because Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is an organization that started the bus movement where Black folks didn't have to necessarily sit at the back of the bus. That was Rosa Parks. Yes, she was a member of AKA. So while Issa is telling the story with Flighty Tiffany, she's not really embodying who these people are, how they have shaped the Black life experience. But we didn't say nothing about pink and green, and I want to leave you with that. We did not do that. These people that's reporting on Howard, many have never even seen the campus of Howard. These kids are out there fighting, and it's teaching them some very valuable tools. And yes, they should not be exposed to that. And yes, I'd be pissed off, but I am anxiously awaiting to see what happens. And the alumni is actually doing something. They are meeting with the dean now. And if you know anything about my friend Hillary, who actually works for the school and is an alumni and is a legacy alumni because her mother graduated from Howard, she will not be quiet and she will not let them make it. And I want to just leave this one thing before I close. Many of the issues that you have from HBCUs, I don't believe that NYU would necessarily paint over the doors with asbestos, but they might. I've had several friends from PWIs tell me that they had experiences as well, because I made the comment, they probably wouldn't do that at Harvard. And then a friend of mine who went to Yale said, yeah, but. So before we attack the HBCUs, maybe we ought to back up. I've said some things too. Y'all know I have about Paul Quinn and others. You know, I know Bangkok Juarez college for the boy. I mean, dorm for the boys. It was terrible. They hated it. So, you know, you do go through those things. But maybe we ought not expose everything on Twitter, because there are some people sneaking in that don't look like us and thinking they know about our experiences, and we ought not appropriate that, Issa, for the masses. And let's let Will and Jada just be Will and Jada, and maybe they'll shut up and stop inviting us into their bedroom. There was a lot happening this week. We'll do it again, same bad time, same bad channel. Hope you enjoyed your time with me today, because I enjoyed my time with you as always. And we'll do it again next Friday. I know some of y'all missed me last week. Listen, my body told me I had to stop. And so before I go, listen to your bodies. Don't allow yourself to run ragged until you get sick. I'm responsible for a lot of things, not just you all. I'm responsible for a lot of things in a lot of places and a lot of moving parts. And so I had to just be still last week. But I'm back now. I'm better. And I'll do it again with y'all next Friday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Love, peace, and hair grease. And we're out.